Done? All right. Welcome to the June 9th Village Council meeting. For all that can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here, Kaiser, here, Rosa.
Here.
And here.
Here. Here. All right, any questions on the minutes from the 27th? Seems like I've been a while. It seems like you guys just went through that fast, but
Because Brian sense it's being here anymore. That was the day after Memorial Day. You were at.
That was Brian.
You know, that I had that in there all the time. All right.
all right, page 2. 3. All right. I have approval of the minutes from the 27th.
So, second.
Yes. Yes, Rosa. Yes.
Yeah.
Zimmerman.
Yes. All right, any questions on the agenda? Another short one tonight. Do a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So. Second. Dave.
Yeah.
Either, yes, Rosa.
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
Thatcher.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes. Brian?
I was not here on the 27th. Well, I was here on the 28th. Because we had the public art, we had the public art steering committee, so I attended that, and out of that meeting came resolution 19-2025, which is the policy that they have put together. The council needs to approve because then it'll be official village policy. And in fact, the records retention or the records commission meeting earlier last month, that is where ordinance 18-2025 comes from. It's the new addition to the village's record retention, or not record retention, I'm sorry, the village's public record policy, which allowed a policy related to police department videos, which will allow the village to start to charge for those. People make requests to produce and redact them and give them out the door, so. That and work with Mark on a couple of zoning issues as well, with those minor things we're taking care of. Well, they're not minor because they're zoning things, but legally they're minor, but we're working on those as well.
And real quick, the video policy, that was passed at the State House. That's why we're adopting it now.
Yeah, that came, House Bill 315 was signed by the governor and became effective at the beginning of April. And that change with House Bill 315 added more to 14943. I'm sorry, 120 with respect to the Public Records Act 14943. And in that, basically this policy mirrors what the new law is, because you have to actually have a policy in place to be able to take advantage of it. So this sort of is not an automatic thing. You can't just point to the revised code and say, this is what we're gonna do. You have to have a policy. So Bob's just come up with a policy for our cities and village clients to be able to take advantage of this if they want to.
Yeah, that was just so everybody knows, you make a public records request. We just didn't willy-nilly come up and say, hey, we want to start charging.
Yeah,
It's not a revenue stream.
Yeah, I mean, there was talk that governor might actually veto that part of the bill, but he signed it, so it is a while long now.
All right, any questions for Brian?
No.
All right, thank you, Brian. Chief, Lieutenant?
All right, from a administrative standpoint, Kramer's Park, the fountain is in. Still working with the company to try to control the weeds and the algae. Fish have been stocked, waiting on the educational signs that have been ordered, and they'll get with balloons and place those when appropriate. The art committee is working on placing a mosaic in front of the electrical panel, so it'll be hidden. Monahan Park, the turf is almost done. Looks like they still have the kind of the spikes sticking up, and then they have to kind of do the perimeter cut, but it looks like it's almost done. And the art committee is also working on doing a mosaic for between the playground and the neighborhood property. Blooms Park, pollinator garden is well underway. Thanks to an Eagle Scout project, this park will look great once everything starts growing. Paving, working to do some spot repairs. Sewers, Richard and the staff have started to do a sewer inspection of every single manhole in the village. This is required every couple of years. He has help, so hopefully everything's gonna be done with that soon. Then the PD, the only thing was the tournament was perfectly fine, no issues for us. And of course, parking, reminder, there's no on-street parking. And we got with Mark and Richard, and they're gonna try to get some more no parking signs for certain areas that are lacking right now.
Any questions for?
And I have a question on the playground, is it gonna be done by Thursday?
I'm not a turf expert, but it looks like there's less than 1 day's worth of work left.
Okay,
So
good.
if they weren't here today, so hopefully they're here tomorrow. And like I said, all the turf is down. It looks like it's kind of like hanging over the edge a little bit, so they probably have to make some sort of final cut and however they do.
Because
And
I'm getting,
it looks like that's all that's left.
I'm getting questions because of music in the village, because people like to bring their kids. So you think it's gonna be done?
In my opinion, it looks like they are almost out.
Thank you, yes.
Is that?
That's it.
All right, any questions for Zach?
No.
Is that a new golf shirt?
No.
Didn't sign it, but can I say something?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
You mind if I just sit?
Yeah, that's fine.
Whoever did the article on Facebook about the parking, kudos. Cause I was really getting tired of listening to people complaining about parking. I do think that our Facebook, April Fool's joke means that should be a parking garage over here, but that's a joke. Music in the Village starts Thursday. As you all know, the purpose of the music put on by the chamber is to bring people into the village so that they can see what we have to offer. And because of that, we've really upped the game on the on the types of bands that we're bringing in. We're bringing in bands that we think have got a good following. And on that side, with the parking, what we've done is we've got permission from the animal hospital and the dog groomer, as well as alternate outdoors, to put up signs that say event parking. So that we can get people not to be trying to park on the streets and things like that. We've also had some residents ask us for this, and we're doing it, putting up no parking signs on their property. So I'm hoping that we control, we offer enough parking. What I'm hoping is that the village management will not park a lot of vehicles in the parking spaces there by the police station, so that is available to park. Along the same line, I've got 4 different food trucks. They'll alternate, they won't be the same week. They will be there every week, and I have not confirmed this, but I think Bridges End is gonna have a beer truck. So I think it's gonna be a really good event, and then we've opened it up to like the arts group. They can come in and set up a table anytime they want. Blooms is setting up a table. Robin is promoting her Police Appreciation Day. So I think we're gonna have a really good turnout. Oh, and Police Appreciation Day. The chamber is sponsoring a duck tank. I think everybody here should be in the duck tank. You're all laughing with me, right?
I think Todd wanted to do it the whole time. Todd said he-
Yeah.
I swear I heard him say it.
Yeah, I did too.
I've had votes for the mayor to be in it.
No,
Well, I
I
thought
was
we had
going to,
stupid-
but Todd really wanted.
I think I put you on the list.
Yeah.
I bet we get more people on that one.
All right, is that it?
That's about all I have to say, but thanks for letting me.
All right, well, I will segue into the parking. So that obviously is the hot topic right now.
Yeah.
So one, I would say it's a good problem to have. Bridges End is obviously doing well. We're a month or a week and a half, 2 weeks into their grand opening here, and obviously the newness is people have seen this, in some capacity for maybe 5 years now, waiting for this to open. So what I would say is, like, let's not jump off a cliff quite yet, right? Like, this is not, I think it's not what you would see in the course of normal traffic. But I'm glad they're successful, but we have to be realistic of what our expectations are on parking. So if we had this robust parking requirement, I would argue that a lot of these commercial buildings wouldn't exist because the business plan doesn't work. They don't have the square footage to make a profit, and we would be stuck with empty lots, right? So the fault is not what council is approving or what the code says. The fault is what the size of our commercial lots are. That's what the fault is, right? So we can go back and we can blame the people from the 40s. It's their fault, clearly. So I think we should embrace, that this is what we have. People at Iaconos have parked at Hellas for years. People at El Vaquero have parked at the Morgan House for years. Hellas lot in the morning is a train wreck. Like, there's cars parked all over the place, right? That's just kind of what we have to deal with. All right. If we've had, clearly we've had no police reports from parking at the church. Now, people that are new to the village, we don't have on-street parking, right? So that might be something that we monitor. But going forward, there are solutions, but we can't have a problem. We can't complain about what the symptoms are of lack of parking and then criticize when a solution's found. We just can't, right? We don't have the luxury of building a parking garage on an empty lot somewhere, right? It costs way too much money. It takes away from any sort of income tax revenue that we could possibly get on a commercial lot. So, again, we have to be realistic of what we have, what our identity is. And, we can continue to find solutions. And we've looked in the past, we've looked at nose-in parking. And we actually turned down a parking lot, based on feedback that we got from the community, that they didn't want a parking. So we can't complain about parking when we voiced our concern that we don't want a parking lot. So let's be realistic going forward and congratulate Bridges End on all the success that they've had so far. So that's all I have for communications.
All right, don't have much, but we do have an open position on the Public Arts Steering Committee, so if anyone watching this is interested, email me or contact the village office to get hold of me I'm taking applications. That's all I have.
Committee
Todd has-
reports, the Public Arts Committee met a week ago, met with Brian and everything. Of course, everybody's talked about it already up here, but we worked on, we established the public art policy, and we're working on what we were gonna do for the mosaics, which will be at the next meeting, kind of discuss what they're gonna look like and how we're gonna do it and when. That's all.
That's it?
Yep.
No one else? All right, we have a first reading ordinance 18-2025, an ordinance to amend the Village of Shawnee Hills Public Records Policy by creating, adopting, and adding a law enforcement video records policy. We have a first reading ordinance 19-2025, an ordinance to create, establish, and adopt a public art policy. And we have a first reading resolution 05-2025, a resolution approving a contract to create a joint economic development district for Ling Concord, Shawnee Hills Joint Economic Development District 1, and authorizing the village administrator and fiscal officer to execute the same. Any questions on that? But that will be big. That will be large. So that's very good news. Do I have a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $167,824.94?
So moved.
Second. Gates.
Yes.
Councilmember Pistola.
Yes.
Yes. Asher.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Shirley, treasurer's report?
Fund $644,483.29. Street fund $53,370.59. State highway $50,261.88. Highway armor $5,475.83. Continuing professional training, 14,187.70. Register of Judge, 15,204.89. Drug law enforcement, 534.41. Indigent drivers, 85.84. Law enforcement trust, 3,852.20. American Rescue Plan, 9,068.14. Enforcement education, 1,795.98. Fire fund, 120,828.49. Weed fund, 648.38. TIF, 95,639.94. TIF two, 53,268.70. These fixed fund, 148,626.66. Veterans Memorial, 298.97. Sewer operating, 47,882.67. Sewer replacement, 7,506.08. Storm sewer, 29,790.86. Enterprise improvement, 23,419, and debt service, 135,578.87, for a total of 1,462,109.37.
All right, motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Second.
Gates.
Yes.
Isaac. Yes. Roseman.
Yes.
Manny.
Yes.
Sexton.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, any miscellaneous business, Justin?
Oh, yes, I do tonight, since you're gonna throw me on, plus we're gonna go for it. So I've been in contact with with Rumpke and a couple other garbage collection companies. If, as a village, if we were to take the billing away from them, as right now they bill an individual residents. If we were to absorb the billing and then distribute it ourselves, there can be some significant savings to that. Unfortunately, Rumpke doesn't sound like they really wanna do anything with us. They said we're in contract, they're like, they're like, yeah, no thanks. But there are some other ones that are like Consolidated and a couple others that they would love the opportunity to discuss that. And I know it's kind of like out of nowhere, like I've never told this to anybody, but I also needed Brian to get his opinion on that as far as, is that something that needs to go out to bid? Or,
Well, no, because you're not having someone else do it. Well, I don't know what you mean by, well, you mean Shirley's gonna do the monkey billing or not monkey billing, but.
yeah.
Yeah, just like sewer.
Because you're not setting it out, so you have to bid it. Well, you wouldn't have to, because it's not gonna cost you $77,251 to do this work anyway, so you don't have to bid it, but
Annually, it probably would be more.
to bill it, it costs you more than
So that's a bill,
$77,000.
but okay, so say for, what did we ran those, what was it, like 120,000 a year? Or 100? It was like 120,000 a year, if you add up how much everybody's paying annually. It was pretty expensive.
I'm confused. Are you talking about billing or actually collecting trash?
So instead of the billing being taken care of by individual residents. The village they bill the village one time, right? Quarterly, whatever the case may be.
So you're saying that you want the village, or no, he's saying the village will charge the residents for the.
Right, and we bring the billing in.
I would advise against that because you come to the bank for the Rumpke trash collection, because I decide not to pay my bill and you've paid Rumpke already. You're stuck going back. I would not do that.
Even if there was a significant savings for the residents? 30%?
If you wanna eat, people not paying their trash bill.
We couldn't come up with a legal way around like,
Justin, did you
Can't get them to mow their grass.
did you assume that everyone gets Rumpke in the village? Is that your
I think
assumption?
everybody had it.
No, my neighbor across the street does it. He owns a business and he takes it to the dumpster at the business he owns, so yeah, so he would be off the thing, and there may be other people. I know at one time, there was one person that was actually piggybacking on somebody else's account. They'd take their trash over to that person.
Well, the thought was, and I think our bill's what, $90 every 2 months, if I was looking at getting that down to $50.
Yeah.
We do a lot of taking and adding, and I'm trying to think outside the box of how I can actually save the residents money, and I guess that doesn't apply, so.
And it's like the sewer bills, if they don't, if someone doesn't pay, which there are a few.
Goes on their property tax?
Yeah, so it's a year, because I only do it once a year, and then it takes me another year to even up that. Because they was paying property taxes to get the money back, and by that time, we're already in arrears. You know, currently.
But would it still be worth the risk if the village residents are saving 40%? But you have 10% that don't pay, we're still, I mean, I guess the village is not, but residents were still ahead. Yeah, I see what you're saying, to try to get us a better rate and save some money, I understand. But I also see where we don't want to absorb paying for someone's trash, they don't pay. The village shouldn't have to pay that.
Well, that was the check and balances on the back end, hasn't really been,
Right.
you know, the front thought was, how can we save money?
Sure.
Is it a high rate of people that don't pay the sewer bill?
It's like the same people, no, it's getting smaller and smaller all the time, so it's not, no, it's not.
We really,
Gee,
one of
wait.
the analysis we need to know is how many that actually just don't pay Rumpke either. And still, I mean, you know, if you put your can out, do they really know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they are, they break it out.
Yeah.
missed one time, they should have been right past.
Trash cans away.
Yeah.
We don't. We can't do that.
Well, it's something to have discussion about.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of what risk do we want to take on?
So you just couldn't put that into the property tax bill. The trash.
Imagine that would.
Well,
Third party
that'd be something
provides.
through the county. You can't do that, but you can put like special assessment maybe, or.
So those ones for the state that they don't even want us to put like utility bills on property taxes, so like, yeah, we're not gonna see how that goes because.
I was thinking with the thought would, it could be, if it was possible legally to put it on with the sewage bill. So instead of it being quarterly, it would be monthly and it would be the additional fee on top of there. I mean, it wouldn't be a direct savings, there's still have to be a little bit of administration fee per, you know,
Right, for us.
for us, because we don't really have to deal with it and run whatever has to happen with it. But
Well, I know up in the city of Delaware. Because my daughter lives up there, now their water and sewer and trash is all on the bill.
that's kind of what the thought was.
Yeah.
It's worth looking into, I guess. If, we always said, do you know, when does our Rumpke contract expire, do you know?
They said next year, but I don't know how accurate.
Next year? Would they be willing to bid after? Cause I do like Rumpke,
Dude, I have no problems with it, I think they do a great
except
job.
when they drive by your house.
That'd be your own, that's self-inflicted.
Oh. But would they be willing
It
to?
sounded like they, if it had to go to
bid
that.
or, yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth investigating, I think.
What other companies are out, is it Republic?
BFI, Republic.
Yeah, the last time
Consolidated.
The last time that was looked at was before I was even on council, Rob. Shawnee. And they had a thing going on, I mean, they
Yeah,
both
they kept going back
presented,
and forth,
yeah,
yeah.
they did.
It's a very lucrative business.
Yes, it is.
All right, any other comments? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So, second.
All in favor?
Alright.